What's up, everybody? Big Nerd here, and today we have some exciting news from GW on the community page. It is new reveals for the Astra Militarum detachments and stratagems. So let's get into it. So the first one we have today is the detachment rule for a siege regiment artillery support. At the start of the battle round, select one of the following types of artillery support: creeping barrage, incendiary bombardment, and smoke shells. And then below you'll see that it lists the battle size and how many numbers can be affected. So incursion is 2, strike force is 3, and onslaught is 4. So most of the time you're going to be playing around 3, maybe 2. So when we talk about these rules, that's kind of what I'm assuming that we're looking at here. For creeping barrage, you roll 1d6 for each enemy unit that is more than 12 inches from every model from your army that is on the battlefield on a 5+ until the end of the battle round. That unit is shaken. While that unit is shaken, subtract 2 from its move characteristic and subtract 2 from its advance and charge rolls made for it. This is really good. I think that this will be getting used quite a bit because it was on the Basilisk. That was literally its whole deal. If you shot at a unit and you got a hit on it, you would subtract 2 from its movement and charge. So it's interesting to see that moved over to a detachment rule. I wonder if the Basilisk will maintain that rule or if they'll be moving that rule or changing it to something else for the Basilisk. Now on to incendiary bombardment. Select a number of enemy units that are more than 12 inches from every model in your army that is on the battlefield. Until the end of the round, those enemy units are scattered. While that unit is scattered, it cannot benefit from cover. The maximum units that can be selected this way depends on the size of your battle. So usually around 3, maybe 2, maybe 4. This is really good. Getting rid of cover for your opponents is always a good thing. Lets everything you're shooting with be just that more effective. And then smoke shells, I think, may be my favorite. Select a number of units from your army until the end of the battle round. Those units have the stealth ability, which is -1 to hit. That's just really, really good. So I think a lot of people will be switching between creeping barrage and smoke shells to help get a little of extra don't come at me kind of energy going and let me be harder to hit as well. I think those in combination can make things very difficult for your opponent. So up next we have Over the Top, which is a strategic ploy stratagem for the Siege Regiment detachment. For 2 CP at the start of your command phase, you can select 1 infantry officer model from your army, and the effect is until the end of the phase, when you order move, it can affect any number of infantry regiment units regardless of range. This is really good because you can target 4, 5, 6 units and have them move 3 inches additional to the normal move characteristic. So for most things, that's 6 inches plus 3, so you're getting 9-inch movements, which can really make or break things sometimes and get you over to objectives or get you out of a sticky situation. So I really, really like this one. Then we have Callous Sacrifice for the Siege Regiment. For 1 CP during your shooting phase, you get to select 1 platoon unit from your army that is within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. Until the end of the phase, enemy units are not considered to be within engagement range of your unit for the purposes of declaring ranged weapons attacks. Until the end of the phase, each time an enemy model loses a wound while that unit is within engagement range of your unit, roll a d6 on a 4+. That model from your unit is destroyed after the attacking unit has finished making its attacks. This is very, very risky because it's a 50-50 chance you lose in a model in addition to any wounds taken in a melee fight. So for guard, that's very risky, but being able to push additional wounds through to your opponent's unit with ranged weaponry is also very, very good, and in a lot of cases could outweigh any potential losses on your side. Then up next we have Minefield for the Siege Regiment detachment. For 1 command point, you get to select 1 platoon unit from your army at the start of your opponent's charge phase. If that unit ends their charge move within engagement range of your unit, you roll a d6 for each model in that enemy unit. On a 5+, that enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound up to a maximum number of 6. So this is really, really good because Guard really doesn't have anything that on charge or being charged until now that allows mortal wounds to just happen. So this is a really, really good deal because you can make that little, Guard unit, whether it be Kriegers, Katachan, whatever it is, on a vital objective, really not the best thing to charge sometimes. So I think this is great, and I hope to see more stuff like this to cause your opponent to really rethink those in the past easy choice charges. Then we get a reveal of another detachment rule: Recon Element Masters of Camouflage, Astra Militarum Walker, and Regiment. Models from your army have the benefit of cover, while such a model has the benefit of cover for any other reason because it is wholly within a ruin, for example. Improve the save characteristic of the models in that unit by 1 up to a maximum of 3, which is pretty good. Some things aren't going to get that big of a buff by this, but I really think getting benefit of a cover on those units can be really, really solid, especially if you can have Tech Priest walking up behind them and giving them invul saves and other shenanigans like that. I think this is pretty solid overall. Then we get a couple stratagems for the recon element: Courageous Diversion and Scramble Field. So Courageous Diversion is 1 command point at the start of your opponent's shooting phase. You get to select 1 Astra Militarum infantry or mounted unit from your army. Until the end of the phase, your unit has a Feel No Pain 6+ ability, and each time an enemy model makes an attack, if your unit is the closest eligible target, subtract 1 from the hit roll. So overall, that's pretty solid. Feel No Pain 6+ is nothing to scoff at, and subtracting 1 from the hit roll is pretty much always a good thing in my opinion. And then we have Scramble Field, which is also 1 command point. At the start of your opponent's reinforcement step, you select 1 Astra Militarum infantry unit from your army. Until the end of the phase, enemy reinforcements that are set up onto the battlefield cannot be set up within 12 inches of your unit. So this is another really great way to protect an objective or a unit in your back line. You could definitely screen out your backline if you position this unit correctly and then target it with a stratagem. So this is really good overall. I think this gives Guard just a little bit more, hey, don't land over here ability, which is good because I think we need that ability to really make sure we don't have scary things land on our backfield. Then lastly, we have Scouting Outriders for the recon element. For 1 command point at the end of your opponent's turn, you select 1 Astra Militarum mounted unit or walker unit from your army that is wholly within 10 inches of 1 or more battlefield edges and not within engagement range or 1 or more enemy units. You get to remove that unit from the battlefield and pop it into strategic reserves. And this stratagem is pretty solid as well, in my opinion, being able to move your Death Corps of Krieg Death Riders or your regular Astra Militarum Outriders or Rough Riders, I should say. I think at one point they were called Outriders. That's really not the point. But you can move your Death Riders or your Rough Riders or your Armored Sentinels or your Scout Sentinels into strategic reserves and then have them outflank later on another board edge, which is really, really good, especially having that kind of ability to move on to another objective or make another charge against an enemy unit. I think these movement shenanigans is what we really kind of need to see for Guard, and I think these are just good in general for the game because so much of this game does revolve around movement. Guys, if you made it this far, let me know what y'all think of the new detachments and stratagems in the comments. Hopefully y'all like them. If not, tell me why. Really interested on y'all's thought. Thanks so much for watching. Y'all be awesome. Be safe. Be kind. I will see y'all in the next